Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW and TEW 2020. We are here at Double or Nothing 2022. This is a very long show, at least many matches. We have 16 matches on the card, including this one pre-show match. But it is mostly matches. We start off with the VIPs Club defeating DKE in the pre-show, our only pre-show match. Fiona submits Morgan Daniels. To start off our show, the Briscoes defeat the Young Bucks in just over 20 minutes when Mark pins Matt with the Redneck Boogie. They defend their titles. A bit of a surprising win, but again, I did mention this before, I don't really want to hotshot the titles around too much. Briscoes are still fairly recent champions, and I want a few defenses under their belt before I start giving the belt elsewhere. Darby Allin then defeats Ricochet. This was in a high spots match, I do believe. Car crash. Okay. So pretty good. Odd face heel is really the main thing with that. Afterwards, Antonio Banks, he cautiously gets into the ring. He holds a briefcase. He opens it up. There's a ton of money in there. Darby looks at it for a moment. Walks over. Puts his hand on the briefcase. Shuts it. Walks off. And Banks is like... he's still a face, but he's yelling at Darby that he's going to regret not joining the bankroll, not taking Antonio Banks as a friend, because of course Banks is part of the booking committee in kayfabe. And then after yelling at him for a little bit, goes to check if Ricochet is okay. Next match, the Lucha Bros defeat Private Party. Then Trish Stratus presents the TBS title as we get our second title match of the night. First of our new championships being crowned as Shia wins the tournament over Roxy. Roxy, pretty poor performances, so makes sense for Shia to pick up the win. After this, we get Antonio Lautens in his big new debut. He makes a grand first entrance, fitting of the bright lights of Las Vegas. And in his debut match, gets a 79 in defeating Jeff Cobb. A very, very good performance there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. After this, Chris Jericho and The Vision defeat Heyman's contingency. Brock, top score. Chris Jericho's up there. Same score as Matt Sydal. I don't want to retire Jericho yet. He still has a lot of things that he can do, but that 78 is really good still. But Jericho is 50. He's only gonna be getting worse. So I don't want to retire him yet, but it's not out of the picture. Matt Sydal picks up the win over Brian Cage. After this, Kurt Angle presents the U.S. title. And maybe it's a little bit biased for him because he is, he's in the corner of Charles Betts, his own client, part of his training group. And he's presenting the U.S. title. Makes sense. Olympic gold medalist presents the U.S. title. And now this is an interesting match. Cody Rhodes defeats Charles Betts, but there's a little bit more to it than what meets the eye here. So for the first, let's say 10 minutes, it's a pretty normal match. They're very respectful, but eventually, I'd imagine Charles Betts probably gets Cody in a pretty good angle lock for a little while. Cody, he gets the rope break, he rolls out of the ring. Charles Betts, he's stalling for time, and eventually, Cody, he manages to somehow get the ref distracted. I don't exactly know how. And he starts using some cheap tactics on Charles Betts is the point. He's doing a little bit of heel work. He's cutting things off. He's doing, he's making a heel turn is what's the main thing I'm getting. I don't exactly know how he does so. But he gets a clean win, as in a win with a finisher. I would imagine probably just before he hits the Beautiful Disaster, hits a nice low blow on Charles Betts. and he turns heel. Very good for his American hero gimmick. Interesting. So after the match, Bloody Cody, because of course he's going to bleed. It's Cody. He's a Rhodes. All roads must bleed. It's a weird way of saying all roads must lead to Rome. Whatever. He takes the title. He starts celebrating with the crowd, but the crowd are booing him because he used a bunch of underhand text. You know, that low blow. He's probably arguing with the ref. He's trying to get a quick count. He's maybe even using his position as EVP. You know, probably maybe even gets up with the ref. You know, hey, count to 3 or I fire you. And then he starts yelling out. He doesn't get a mic, but he's just yelling it out. Front row can hear it, cameras can hear it. And he says that he'll make sure that the US title is one of the best that the world has ever seen, because that is what a title bearing an American name deserves. Cody is moving on to the sort of the Kurt Angle gimmick of where he thinks he's a face, but he's a heel. Cody should just turn heel anyways. AJ Styles picks up a bit of a surprise win over Jon Moxley. He does use the ropes for leverage, however. Paige Van Zant in her debut match defeats Layla Hirsch with an armbar. Well, it says by submission, but 42 for Paige Van Zant. Could use some work, but oh well. Garza Jr. then defeats Daga with the Rose Thorn. Defense number 12 of the title. Garza is an amazing champion. He's doing fantastically. Afterwards, he's putting on an act of being better off than he truly is. He's trying to stand tall. He's trying to be proud. This guy didn't affect me at all. He's staggering, because it was also a high spots match. He eventually, leans through the ropes, asks for Kip Sabian to give him a rose, does, sets down on Daga's chest, very disrespectfully. Here lies Daga, you're not gonna win the TNT title, you can go ahead and be Impact Champion all you want. It's nothing compared to the prestige of the TNT title, which can main event primetime television while Impact is still struggling. So, Daga walks off. He's very happy about this. I was saying to myself before this match that watch these two not click, and they don't. Fantastic. CM Punk defeats Orange Cassidy, though. After this, actually that's really highly rated, Jesus. Mayu Iwatani defeats Priscilla Kelly with a Dragon Suplex. Under 7 minutes. No problems there. Mayu doesn't even look too exhausted by the end of the match, and an upset AJ Styles comes to the ring. He helps Priscilla Kelly up to her feet, maybe even chides her a little bit, hey, you should have done better in this match, lasted more than 7 goddamn minutes. Priscilla Kelly leaves first, he steps out, and, he steps through the ropes, turns around, he's still on the apron, turns around, he's fully turned around, he has his hands on the top rope, and, he's kind of testing it out, okay, maybe, you can tell that he's thinking about throwing out the phenomenal forearm to hit Mayu with it, but Mayu turns around, and she sees him doing this, she knows what that pose is, and she's alright, come on. But, not necessarily, goading him on, but, she's staring him down, she's not backing down, doesn't seem, not flinched by it, staring, you can tell that Mayu knows what AJ's planning and wants him to go through with it, but AJ just, drops off the apron. I won earlier in the night, I don't need to ruin my name by attacking a woman. After this, oh, nice. Devitt defeats Shinsuke in a 96 performance. I did update some of the psychologies for a bunch of people who deserved higher psychologies. Because, I think Devitt had, a 74, which is good, but just the way TEW works, you need, 85s in order to get good matches. So, yeah. After this, the biggest surprise of the night, Maki Ito defeats Kana with a quick roll-up. They have great chemistry. That's actually fantastic. 82 performance. I think that's the highest rated match so far on the show. So, good one, Maki. Kana is stunned at the loss. She insists with the ref that, it was either a fast count, she kicked out at 3, maybe, probably what actually is, roll up, and it's a kick out at 3.1. So Kana's still very strong in it. I didn't say her to be strong because I wanted Maki to get pop boost, But kind of kicks out at like 3.1. Celebration is cut off. Maki's celebrating. She's running around. Holy crap! I just won. Kind of kick to the gut, off the ropes, Shining Wizard, and so Maki entered the ring to the song that she was practicing the past few days. The diss track on kind of the second one, probably going to be a whole album later released. I'm just going to assume that. And Kana she's heading off, she's pissed off, maybe even flips off the crowd. I'm imagining this is a case where it seems like it's definitely not as obvious. Like, it's one of those where some people could be convinced that this was not the plan. Like, Kana, very good job at acting with this. She's going off script. She's doing very well this, but it makes it. Kana's making it seem like she was, at least the match was supposed to go on further. She was supposed to win the match, most likely, but no, bit of a not even a confusing finish. It's just a close finish, and Kana, just with how angry she is, might seem as if it is. Shoot. After this, Steen and Sabay defeat the VIPs when Steen submits Bay with a sharpshooter. I'm probably going to remove that from his moveset, because I don't think he uses a sharpshooter. Bruises his pec, though. Thank you, Fuka. And, okay, whatever. After this, Remy and Kevin refuse to celebrate their win because they're keeping an eye on MJF. They know that he has something planned. And they're right, because Griffin Slade soon slides into the ring. But he's met by Wardlow. He comes in, imagining Slade comes in from the ramp, and then Wardlow comes in from either side, doesn't really matter which. Slides in, big pounce, Slade lands, waits a second, rolls out, and MJF's like, shit, they were waiting for this, they had a plan, let's get out of here, let's hightail it. And Slade carries Bay as Ramy and Kevin celebrate. Wardlow, he's watching, he's making sure MJF doesn't try anything stupid. And then our main event, very disappointing, as Adam Page defeats Adam Cole with a buckshot lariat. They don't click. Darn. Adam Page doesn't have much time to rest after the match, as the Cult of Cole all rush the ring. Adam Cole weakly, he's just wrestled like a 22-minute match. He has them to stop before they can reach Hangman, and he's being helped up a little bit. It's like, hey, I respect the fight you put up. It was a good match. But I'm not going to change my mind. I still hate those guys because, again, they fucking killed me. And I have no intention of changing who I am. He leaves the ring. He's assisted by the Cult. Pay-per-view ends with Hangman celebrating another title defense. 82 rated show. Not bad, not bad. This show, I think, is better. Like, it had a lot of good matches, but I feel like maybe not even maybe should have done a better job of doing different things with it, more angles. There's a lot of just matches because a 14-minute video for a pay-per-view is not great. But 82 rated show, that still is nice, gaining pop. That's fine. We move on to the very, very slow road to All In, as well as whatever other mini things I come up with along the way.